What's going on, guys? Welcome to this very special edition of the Main Event Talk right here on YouTube. I am the main event player, the Super C, coming back at you. Today is Tuesday. I believe it's the 17th of June, and a lot has taken place within the past couple of days. And this episode is going to shock everyone. Well, I can't say it's going to shock everybody, but I do know that this is going to be one episode that every person is going to never forget. I promise you. Now, there is one part of the subject that we're going to talk about, and we're going to leave that one for last. This one, on the other hand, we're going to talk about what happened this past weekend. We're going to talk about Slammiversary that took place this past weekend. We will also talk about Money in the Bank coming this Sunday, or actually next Sunday to be exact, live and exclusively on pay-per-view and on the WWE Network. And also Ring of Honor's pay-per-view coming up this Sunday, live and exclusively on pay-per-view. Ring of Honor's Best in the World, their very first wrestling pay-per-view. Okay? I know some people are probably a little bit freaked out about it, because some people are actually telling me, well, Furman, they have actually had pay-per-views. Yes, they have. But on the internet, not on cable television. Which is why I am so glad that it's going to happen next week on pay-per-view. Call your local cable satellite provider or outlet to get your hands on Ring of Honor's pay-per-view, Best in the World. Now, we're going to go right ahead and just start off with the beginning, and we're going to talk about Father's Day. Happy late Father's Day, first of all, to all my friends, all of my close friends who are fathers themselves. From my longtime best friend Hector Juarez, aka Homestar Runner, to one of my other longtime best friends, Mark Anthony Pantoja, aka Antoine. And I would like to list a few other people. Israel, can't forget him. Joseph, as a matter of fact, his birthday was just a couple of days ago. Happy birthday, Joy. What's going on, my man? Now, let's see. Let's get right into what I need to talk about. Slammiversary took place this past Sunday night. And, I didn't get a chance to see the pay-per-view, but I heard about the results. I saw part of the pay-per-view on YouTube. And, a few of the things that I predicted came true. I'm going to get to it in just a second. Sonata had defended the X Division Championship on at Slammiversary, defended it against the Wolves, Crazy Steve, and I think there was a few others that were involved. But not to go ahead and just get right into detail, still X Division Champion Sonata. And let me see, also, as you know, MVP was supposed to have gone one-on-one against Eric Young for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. But due to injury, doctors have not cleared him to compete, so therefore MVP was out. And now it leaves the question, who would face Eric Young in a steel cage match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship? And MVP came up with this idea. You know about the other two matches that were going to take place at Slammiversary. Austin Aries going one-on-one against Kenny King, while you got Bobby Lashley going one-on-one against Samoa Joe. Now, the winner of those two matches will compete for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship inside a steel cage against Eric Young, which will make it a three-way dance for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I'll start off with I think it was the first match was Samoa Joe against Bobby Lashley. Winner of that matchup was Bobby Lashley. Knew he would win it, beat Samoa Joe in the middle of the ring, and he advances on to take on, to be a part of the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And also Austin Aries, the greatest man to ever live, to take on the King of the Night, Kenny King. Winner of that matchup, the greatest man to ever live, Austin Aries. Moves on, so now it becomes a three-way dance for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship at Slammiversary. And everything, I'd like to mention what's going to happen, but I'll talk about that in just a moment. The Knockouts Championship was on the line. Angelina Love defending the Knockouts Championship, member of the Beautiful People, against Gail Kim. Who wins that match? Well, obviously we know who it is. Angelina Love of the Beautiful People retains her championship and so forth. And let's see, also, the Von Erichs also played in the matchup as well against the Bromance. Via disqualification, the Von Erichs win. And I didn't get a chance to see it, but I did see a pic of the legendary Kevin Von Erich with the Iron Claw coming right into play. And I don't know exactly, but I think he put it on Robbie E. I think. That's what I saw on the pic there. Now, this one matchup that I predicted probably a couple of days in advance. Bully Ray going one-on-one against EC3 in a Texas death match. And, well, I know there's some people that are not going to believe it, but EC3 wins against Bully Ray. Now, I'm not surprised that he won it, because somehow, in some strange way, I knew he would lose. Somehow, I knew he would lose. Now, I still feel in my heart that Ethan Carter III, EC3, the supposed American icon, would win, but to me, he still ain't shit, but somehow, he's getting better. He's getting better. He needs to work on his promos a little better, but he's getting better, I think. But let's move on. There's one part that I forgot to mention. Dixie Carter, I think there was a picture of Dixie Carter laying on the table, and Bully Ray was at the very corner of the ring right there. It looked like he was about to smash Dixie Carter. Well, I wouldn't mind smashing Dixie Carter, but not in that particular way. Let's move on, shall we? Speaking of Bully Ray, you guys have heard the announcement of the newest inductees into the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame. You had the Stinger and you had Kurt Angle. So who would the next inductee be in the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame? Well, you didn't just get one inductee, you got two inductees. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations go out to the team known as Team 3D. They are now members of the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame. Now, I know some people are probably asking themselves, wait a minute, weren't these like WWE guys, that, appeared here and won multi-titles? Let me give you a little knowledge about the Dudley Boys. And let me also give you, well, that's who they were. And let me also give you a knowledge about tag team wrestling. And let me also give you a knowledge about who I think is the greatest of all time and who I think is the least greatest and all that other stuff. There's been a lot of great tag teams over the years. Back in my time, my team was the Hart Foundation, Demolition, the British Bulldogs, the Killer Bees, the Italians, Strike Force, the Rockers. And how about other teams like, I think, if I remember, Doom. You remember them? The Steiner Brothers. They were a great tag team as well. And how about we go a little further? How about we talk about Harlem Heat? How about we talk about, what's that other great tag team? There's so many tag teams that I could possibly think about, but they were all considered the greatest or the best. One team in particular, who by far is considered the greatest tag team of all time, is Animal and Hawk of the Legion of Doom. They were considered the greatest tag team in the history of professional wrestling. Better than the Hart Foundation, better than the British Bulldogs, and better than every list of tag teams you can possibly remember. So I asked myself, oh, and by the way, just to let you know, and I want to clarify this on my show because I know there have been some people saying that DX is a tag team. No. The New Age Outlaws were a tag team, okay? DX has always been a faction. Now, if it was a tag team, it's Shawn Michaels and Triple H. That is just DX, right? That's the tag team of DX, not the faction of DX. But if you're going to put DX over the Legion of Doom, you're out of your fucking mind. Let me get that out of the way, okay? Now, the Legion of Doom unquestionably are the greatest tag team of all time, beating every single team in the wrestling industry. But if there was one team that would be beyond the Legion of Doom, it would simply be Team 3D for the obvious reason. Number 1, ECW. Number 2, WCW. Number 3, WWE. Number 4, TNA. Number 5, the IWGP Tag Team Championships. A total of 23 championships. 23, mind you, championships. The Dudley Boys are unquestionably one of the greatest tag teams of all time. But if you ask me, they are not the greatest tag team of all time. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, come on, man. What are you, smoking crack? Are you out of your fucking mind? We're talking about Team 3D. We're talking about one of the greatest tag teams in the history of professional wrestling. But hear me out. Team 3D, the Dudley Boys, are not considered the greatest tag team of all time. They are considered the greatest tag team, period. Which means they have gone beyond the perspectives of teams like the Legion of Doom, and gone beyond the perspectives of teams like the Harlem Heat, the Hart Foundation, Demolition, the British Bulldogs, the New Age Outlaws, the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian. You can name a list a mile long and tell me that they are the greatest tag teams of all time. But if you look at the very top of the mountain, you'll see Devon and Bully Ray at the very top of the mountain, because they are considered the greatest tag team, period, in the history of professional wrestling. There will never be another tag team like them ever again. So you and everyone else can kiss my ass, while the rest dig and understand and say congratulations go out to Team 3D, aka the Dudley Boys, for being inducted into the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame. Do they deserve it? Yeah, bet your ass they do. Oh my brother, testify. And I tell you what, unquestionably in my mind, they are considered the greatest tag team, period. And it's going to be a long, long time until another team comes along that will outshine and outmaneuver and everything of the Dudley Boys, okay? Now, I know some people are going to argue with me about this point, and that's fine. You can. But until you reach the pinnacle of tag team wrestling, until you reach to 23 and go beyond 23 titles and win more championships in other organizations, not just the WWE, but TNA or Ring of Honor or NXT, the Dudley Boys are considered the greatest tag team, period. So congratulations go out to them. Now, let's get to the conclusion of the Slammiversary. Actually, there's another matchup I think I forgot in particular. It was Willow, the unlikely team of Willow and the Monster Abyss teaming up against Bram and Magnus. Winner of that matchup, Bram and Magnus. And you know, personally, I'm kind of glad that Bram and Magnus won, because you know, it's not like I don't have a problem with Willow or the Monster Abyss, but I kind of see something forming with Magnus and Bram. As a matter of fact, I think in my prediction, in my own mind, that I think Bram and Magnus would make a great tag team, but for some odd reason, I think they're going to split and face off against each other at Bound for Glory. That's my opinion, that's my thought, that's how it goes. Another matchup in particular that I, forgot, the Cowboy James Storm versus Mr. Anderson. And I'll tell you something, I didn't see that matchup either, but the only thing I remembered was they're in Dallas, Texas, right? They're over in Arlington, Texas. And Cowboy James Storm decides to go ahead. What did he do? He spit in the face of the Dallas Cowboys? Are you kidding me? With all due respect to Cowboy James Storm, because I love him, he's a great wrestler, I consider him to be the next TNA World Heavyweight Champion, but don't ever spit in the face of the 5-time champions. Nobody spits in the face of the Dallas Cowboys, especially when you do it over in Dallas, Texas. You do that in Dallas, Texas, you get your ass kicked. I don't give a damn who you are. If you're from Tennessee,